what the interviews or the fear the whatever people you are talking to at the site, when you are asking them and they give you certain their feedback on how the incident had happened, still it may not always be true, or it may not be the correct version. And he was also saying that on the first day you talk to them, you get a certain viewpoint. Yes, you get a certain information, and as the days pass by, the information that you receive, that the everything, it is always tampered. Even the people's viewpoint, people's eye observation, or what they talk about, what exactly happened at that site, will be completely varied. So it is not that trustworthy, but then as a part of the documentation process, we will be recording all those things. Any one very small item will be a clue to coming to a conclusion. That was his takeaway. He was saying a very small thing in the photograph, a very small, so hundreds and thousands of he was saying, like that much amount of photographs we will have to take of the site, and then it is pieced together, it is put together, and then it is studied thoroughly, and then that is how the conclusion is attained. Yes. So that was what we were talking about, the failure pattern. So now, yesterday we had discussed about what are the different, how the data is gathered at the site, and what are the different steps that we need to do. Yes, to how do you record? I mean, what are the informations that we will be recording? How photography, eyewitness accounts. So yesterday also we were discussing as related to civil engineering aspects also. Now then, what are the structural investigations that we do? That was what we were discussing yesterday, and that is where I have stopped. So structural investigations that we do is basically sometimes the load test or the field load test we will be doing. Then we have a lot of instrumentation which enable us to measure the various aspects, the deflections, whether the deflections that has happened. Then the strain gauges enable us to measure the strains. Then there are pressure transducers which enable us to measure the pressure variations because of the loading. Displacement measuring devices, lot of displacement measuring devices. The advancement of electronics has enabled us, and also the networking that we have right now. You just have, if these equipments, or if these small instruments are connected to the structures, yes, they will be able to give us data through Wi-Fi. If the Wi-Fi is there, we will be continuously getting the information from these equipments that we have mounted there on the specimen, on the structure. Yes, so this process of monitoring the structures, yes, with the different tools, now that process is the structural health monitoring that we are talking about. Yes, so the structural health monitoring means during the life of the structure, you are able to monitor how it is behaving. Yes, so all you need to do is you have to attach the suitable equipments there, and then that will be through the connected to the system here in your office, or and the through Wi-Fi, this thing gets, the data gets transferred throughout. So you will be having the data for every second, every minute. The data will be continuously available. So if in the case of an issue, you can always go back to that data and analyze what exactly happened at that point of time, or if anything happened at that point of time, and that will enable you to come to a conclusion. Yes, so that is why now all the buildings, the structural health monitoring aspects are, even in Burj Khalifa, if you take if you look at the, or if you are able to learn or look at the videos or in data, the information regarding Burj Khalifa, you know that even now the monitoring, continuous monitoring of that structure is happening there. There are a lot of devices which has been implanted in the machine. And I think for the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel statue also, the Statue of Unity, also the structural health monitoring is carried out, because it is on a wide open the space where the wind effect will be very high. So whether this wind has a severe effect on this building, on this statue, the monitoring is continuously taking place. I believe you know that the statue, the steel part of it was erected by the Eversandai Construction Private Limited. So sir had been, no, sir was talking to us regarding um, uh, the erection process and all that. So in the due course, he was talking about the structural health monitoring equipments that are still there. So similarly for all the buildings, even for older buildings, it is for all the bridges and everything. These equipments can be connected, which will be enabling us to monitor the fatigue that is developed in them. Because I told you the other day, due to the continuous vibrations, there is always fatigue in the bridges and the roads. Yes, so to monitor that, to monitor even older buildings, you can connect them to these devices. You can somehow attach these devices to it and then connect it through Wi-Fi. The data is continuously available. Yes. Also, the other day there was a talk in which a professor in IIT, he was talking about restoration of heritage buildings. Yes, so some of the buildings in in Indonesia and the interiors of there is a heritage building there. There is a structure there. But now the trees and the vegetation has grown on it. But to preserve that particular structure, they have done some restoration works. They're not very full-fledged restoration cannot be done, but they have patched up the area, the building, such that it doesn't crumble down. And other issue is that this vegetation also cannot be removed. It is a protected area. Okay, so what they have done is they have preserved everything as it is, and they have given some supports so that structure does not fail. And these monitoring devices have been put in, and the data is received at IIT in Chennai here. Yes, so faculty from IIT Chennai, they have done that. They are doing that structural health monitoring. So that is how the development of electronic devices have enabled the monitoring of structures. Anywhere you are able to get the data. Yes, right. When you have, if you have the Wi-Fi and system arrangement, so that is enabling. So this will help us in the future when there is any to monitor. And at the same, so when you're monitoring, the issue of failure doesn't cross. No, we are able to tackle that failure. So when there are some issues that gets highlighted, then immediately we can look into it. So this is building up. This is being used nowadays very widely in most of the buildings. Yes. So all these equipments. So once a structure has failed, also there are the devices like pressure transducers and this the strain gauges, which can if it has been mounted, then it will enable us to get the whether the strain has exceeded the specified limit or whatever. Now, other aspect that we have is the optical and the laser technology methods. So, by using this optical or laser technology methods, you are able there it is possible for us to plot the the failure, the variations that has happened, that infrared technology that is enabling us to find out what is the how that process has happened. So one more work I'm going to give you. I want you to look at how laser or infrared technology in detail. I want you to prepare a writing in detail of how laser and infrared technology is enabling forensic investigation. Yes, or assessment of buildings. If not forensic investigation, assessment of buildings. Yes, application of laser and infrared technology in for the assessment of buildings. Okay, so that is one thing. So this is how this is the laser or the laser aspect of building that has been generated. and from that they are able to find out the patterns or assess how the failure and everything has been. So from that it is possible to regenerate or go back to what had happened. Similarly, this is the photo. This is a profilometer. Profilometer. It is a tool that is used in order to measure the the deflection that is developed in the deflection. So here it is actually a reinforced plastic pipe and it is a buried pipe. So they are trying to find out whether there is any deflection that is they developed in it. So for different purposes, the equipments will also have to be slightly modified. So this is actually a modified profilometer. Now the profilometer is quite advanced. It is all electronic in aspect. Yes. So that is enabling the deflection process that is happening. Yes. So now what I want you to do is what are the methods that are available in order to assess the concrete and masonry materials? Yes, how will you assess the metals? A structure has failed. Okay, the structure has failed. Now you want to know whether the masonry the concrete or the masonry was intact, whether it had the required strength, or was there any issues in that concrete that was done. So one aspect that you can do is, like we discussed yesterday, we can take the course, the concrete course or the concrete samples from there. Yes, so like that, what are the different methods that are available? Then metals. How do you assess the metals? Wood. If wood is being used in the construction, how do you assess the damage in the wood? Was it of the was the strength sufficient, etc. Then weld. How do you test the weld? So I wanted to quickly assess the use internet in order to find out how these four aspects can be assessed at the or they can be evaluated at site. What are the different methods that are available? So can you just quickly find out? Or would it be difficult for you using the internet data, mobile data? Can you do it now or do you need time? I will take it that you are searching for information. So I think each one of you can take one topic, like Kritika can do concrete and concrete. Shweta can look at masonry materials, and Kaviyarasu can look at metals. Uh, Jagan can look at wood, and Mikias, you can look at weld testing. What are the different methods that are available? Or I think I'll just finish this off. You can just note it down later, and you can, when you have Wi-Fi access, you can go ahead and do it. Yes. So next is how do you assess the water and the air penetration and the heat loss in the buildings? Yes. So so these whether to assess the whether there was water or air penetration or in the building. So there are certain methods that are available. Yes, you are either using the flooding technique, or why this is done is assess the capability of the building claddings. Yes, So that for that is the purpose for which the water air penetration and the heat loss methods are assessed. Yes, and this one and infrared thermography. So that is a method that was used in order to uh, this infrared thermography. So that is used in order to detect the heat loss. So heat loss is also a major concern because there is a lot of energy that is lost during the process. Yes, so that is why this method has to be adopted. So sometimes air leakage and presence of moisture. So all these need to be assessed whether there is moisture seeping in from the roof, or whether there is a, the reinforcements are properly placed, or whether there is any corrosion in the reinforcement. So all these can be assessed using infrared thermography methods. Yes, and lastly, what you need to do is you need to do a subsurface investigation. So what are the why subsurface? Subsurface doesn't mean below the soil, but below the surface of any material that is there in the site of a structure or a construction. Yes, so the different non-destructive methods are mostly adopted in order to study the flaws or embedments. And like we discussed yesterday, rebound hammer test, ultrasonic pulse velocity test, all these will enable us to measure the flaws or if there are huge voids in the concrete. Similarly, X-ray magnetic R meters, then ground penetrating radars, then impact echo test. All these will enable us to measure the reinforcing bars or other steel embedments in the concrete and masonry. So whether they are all in the proper, it is properly embedded, at what depth it is embedded. So all this information can be collected. And also methods. What are the methods? It is radiographic methods, ultrasonic methods, and eddy current method. So that enable us to detect the subsurface flaws in the metals. Okay, so I've given you ideas. So please look at these things. So these are basically used in order to understand what is the the defects or the flaws that will be developed in these materials. So please go look in details at this, and then come back for next class. We will discuss about that. So the different methods that are adopted, I have given you a brief idea what to look for. You can just build upon that. Okay, so now I want you to look at that article which I have talked about. What is that? Yeah, documenting and analyzing construction failures. So please read the article and note down the what you have understood. What is it that the paper is saying? What are the? It is basically the research was conducted on what are the different methods that are adopted in assessing the doing a failure investigation, and how the documentation is done. And then they are suggesting new ways of documenting the work, so that it makes a proper sense. Okay, so please go through it and note it down, and then we will discuss about it. Now, OSHA, like I told you, it's Occupational Safety and Health Administration. It is the organization in the United States which looks into the construction accident or failures. So they collect the data and they may do an analysis, and the decision will be made regarding, or what exactly happened at that point. So that is a it is an also this is an organization which does that. OSHA, Occupational Safety and Health Administration. Yes, have you gone through? Hmm? Have you read the abstract? What did you understand from the abstract? Yes, Tamara Selvan. Yes, Tamara Selvan, what did you understand from the abstract? Kaviyarasu. Did you read the article?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So what is, did you read the article? What is it that you understood from the abstract of that article? Anybody else? Shweta, are you able to hear me? Gibe, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so were you able to take up the article? Were you able to read it?
Yes.
Yeah, so can you tell me what does the abstract talk about?
The abstract summarizes the whole paper, and it shows how many uh, members of the engineering and construction industry were surveyed
Mm.
in order to take the construction failure case studies
Mm.
and how they were analyzed and documented. The procedures are like numbered, but they're I think indicated.
Mm. So what the article is regarding the different construction failure case studies. So I told you OSHA records or documents different failures. Yes. So all these are recorded, but what the authors talk about is that there is no comparison or there is no with the existing issues that has happened. So they are trying to analyze. They have taken up a lot, some certain case studies from the construction failures, and they are determining how the different institutions conduct their investigations, whether the methods adopted are okay or not, and also the documentation process. Is the documentation process, the method sufficient? That or should some new guidelines be provided for the construction failure investigation? So that was so they analyzed the different techniques that was adopted, and they have come to the conclusion that okay, some guidelines can be given for the investigating and documenting the failures. That is also important. The documenting of the failures also formed a very important part. So they recommended a format for reporting the failures, and also finding the reporting the findings of the failure investigation. So that was what this article is about. So kindly go through it, read it, and make notes. Please do take the notes. We will have a discussion, and at the end of the period on Monday, you can upload your document. Okay. So please make a note of it, and we will discuss it in class. Okay. Okay, then I think I've taken extra time for your class. Okay, thank you very much. See you on Monday. Yes.